Hello, dreamers, doers, believers, and achievers. I'm Dwayne Shigg, and welcome to another episode of Talking Books, the place for people who like books, reading them or writing them. And we thank you for joining us. And our guest on tonight is Mr. Frank Zaaquan Jordan. He is an author extraordinaire, and we're going to talk about his books that can be rather thought-provoking, uh, provocative, if you will, but if you read them, you just might learn something. So I'm thankful that he joined us tonight. How are you, Brother Frank?
Hey, I'm all right, Brother Dwayne. Hey, listen, I want to say all praise to the Most High. And thank you, Brother Dwayne, for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Not a problem, man. When I was reading your information, the books and the things that you write about, people need to know about those things. And so before I start getting into your books, I want to ask you a question. What is it about writing that you like? What do you like about writing? Why do you do it?
Writing is a very powerful way and a very powerful tool to get over and convey your message over to really millions of people.
Mm.
Especially, because it's just a very grand way and a very classy way of getting over very important information over to people. Especially if you're like a book, kind of person, or you're a book
Uh-huh.
guru. It's just a
I like
very
that.
extraordinary way of getting it over, the information over.
I like that book guru. I like that. So when did you start writing? Is this recent or you're from a young age or?
I mean, I've always been a history nerd,
Okay.
since I was a kid. Always been a history nerd, and always been, very, just very a subtle way
I
of
like
just
that.
being inquisitive about certain things in history. But actually started writing. I've actually have 31 years in actually studying history, so
Wow.
I've accumulated, this a mass amount of knowledge. And it
Wow.
was just time 11, 12 years ago when I said I need to start putting this information in
I love
books.
that. I love that. Tell us about the book we're going to talk about tonight. The name and
Uh,
tell us about it.
yeah, tonight we're going to talk about We Once Were a Family, the disappearance of Black culture and soul.
Hmm. So what is that about?
This book actually, Brother Dwayne, is about segregation versus integration. And a lot of
Hmm.
people will say, okay, well, a lot of people don't know too much about segregation. Number one, let me just give you a quick definition.
Okay.
Segregation was during a time period where you had, blacks that were actually forced during the Jim Crow era
Right.
to actually just do for themselves altogether. Probably like about maybe it started. I'll probably say maybe I would say maybe 50 years, 40 to 50 years after the Civil War. The Civil War, the Emancipation was signed in 1863. So really, the bulk of Black riches, came from segregation, which was probably the late 1800s, 1880, around that time. But what a lot of people don't know, Brother Dwayne, is during the time of segregation, which we were separated and forced to do things on our own, that was the greatest period in time for Black riches during that time.
Wow. Wow. And when you think of segregation, most people, when they think of segregation, think about separate but equal school and all that sort of thing. And as we were talking earlier, when I read your information, the way you described it, talking about the riches of segregation, on the surface, I thought about riches of segregation because my mind didn't go to all of the rich things that you just mentioned.
Right.
And that is incredible. And so in terms of segregation, why is it that we don't know more about the riches that you just talked about? Because we just think about we think about what we can't do in segregation, and you just talked about a whole lot of things that we did do. So why don't we talk like that or think about those?
We've been infiltrated. The Black communities have been infiltrated, and once the Black communities were infiltrated, our genius, okay, was compromised. Okay, and what I mean by that is that during the time of segregation, let me give you a couple examples. Like in Durham, North Carolina, you had a guy by the name of John Merritt, black guy. He was the founder of the NC Life Mutual Life Insurance building in 1898.
Okay.
which was one of the largest buildings in the state of North Carolina. A black man started that. Also, the same time too, during the time of segregation in 1908, you had the same man, John Merritt, black guy, along with Aaron Moore, in 1908, that started the Mechanics and Farmers Bank, okay, which
Wow.
has more than probably 100 to 150 branches throughout the United States right now. That bank was actually relegated in 1908 to loan money to black farmers and loan money to black people so they can get houses.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
interest
know
rates
that.
wasn't too much at all, but these are some of the things, like I said, that we were infiltrated, okay, by, I would say, gentrification, or by the American government as well, too.
Right.
Anytime that you have a group of people that are doing pretty much for themselves, and they they're a separate unit, okay, and they're not too reliant, okay, upon the American government, especially blacks. We got to put it out there.
Hmm.
We're going to get infiltrated. Today, they just call it gentrification.
Change the name of. So, can you give us maybe one or two of the major things or specific things that you talk about in when the book when Once We Were Family? Is there maybe one or two things that you can tell us about that we probably wouldn't know about?
Right, right, absolutely. During the time of segregation, like I said, black riches was at an all-time high. Like, there's actually a hotel in Harlem, okay, that I never knew. I passed it many a times, it's called the Hotel Teresa. It's right on 125th
Oh,
Street. Now, I passed by and stood right in front of this hotel and never knew that this hotel was actually built, okay, and erected, okay, for black people, okay,
wow.
during the time of segregation. And I'm quite sure that you have a lot of people, okay, that live in Harlem, that doesn't know that this was a hotel, okay, that was actually, erected by a black man for black
Right.
people. Um, Let me give you one more. Okay, there's a place in Detroit called Black Bottom, Detroit. This is very important. During the time of segregation, Black Bottom, Detroit owned. Okay, it was a separate segregated society owned by blacks. Over 350 black businesses. You're talking about 17 physicians. Okay, physician practices. 22 law offices, 22 barbershops, 13 black dentals, 12 tailors, 10 restaurants. You have 13 schools. Okay, and this is during the time of segregation, okay, which is very important. And you had also 6 black pharmacists as well also. So
Wow.
you got to kind of ask yourself this now, brother Dwayne, why, doesn't this kind of or type of stuff kind of exist today? Once
Right.
again, because we've been infiltrated. Anytime that you're a separate independent society and you don't really depend on the government too much, they're going to actually come and they're going to stick their nose in it, okay, and they're going to actually try to buy you out. Let me give you an example,
Okay.
brother Dwayne, and
Go
this is
ahead.
something that a lot of people don't know and they don't understand. Um, Black Bottom, Detroit, and you have Black Wall Street here in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. And this is what the government does. If you're a separate independent society and if you got your own neighborhoods and you're pretty much conducting business amongst yourselves.
Right.
Now, brother Dwayne, listen up real good. During the time of segregation, when we had our own communities, had our own schools, had our own businesses, we had everything, bus stations, we had even black airports, okay, down in
Wow.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, this is what happens is that when you have a community that strong, okay, the government, what they did to Black Wall Street in Durham and also in Black Bottom in Detroit, what they did, they erected a highway. And you would say, okay, well, to erect a highway, wouldn't that bring more business, more cars, more business? But
Right.
what they coincidentally did to these 2 particular neighborhoods is that they erected, the government said, okay, you don't want to let us buy the land, and you don't want to take a buyout from us. What we're going to do, we're going to erect a highway going right through your business.
Wow.
So in turn, what happens is this: you can pretty much, prolong, okay, the erection of a highway for years if if it's because if you're going to erect a highway through a busy street or a busy area, that whole entire area has to shut down. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Wow.
People
Yeah.
can't travel there, they can't get in, they can't get out. So what happens as a result of that? the businesses they shut down. They did that to the black black community, okay, during the time of segregation, just like they did it to the Black Wall Street community in Durham. Okay, now the highway that they erected going through Durham today stands as Highway 751, which still goes right through East Parish Street. Okay, which was where Black Wall Street existed.
Wow, wow. And one of the things that I find interesting, inspirational, is that your information shows all those things have been done. So that means we can do it.
Right.
We can do it. So let me ask you a question. Why is it, just in case you've just joined us on Talking Books, we're talking to Brother Frank Zaaquan Jordan, author of we Once Were Family, talking about a lot of different things that happened during segregation and the genius of Black people. Why are books like this? Why is a book like this so important?
A book like this is very important. It is very important because, you know, Brother Dwayne, not only does it tell you about information that you don't know about and that you'll never hear, okay, in schools, it's very important because it builds self-esteem. Okay, and not only does it build self-esteem, but it kind of sparks the genius that our forefathers once had that was trickled on down to us. Okay, now here in today's society, okay, let's just say for the past 4 years, you know, how you have a lot of white supremacists that are on the rise, and you know, you have a lot of, you know, just, you know, everybody's at each other's throat all the time.
Right.
Now, you know, if you grow up in society, which that was, you know, white supremacy was taught to us. If you're growing up in a society, you know, where is that, you know, when you open up a magazine, you see, you know, nothing but European faces. You know, when you go in the store, you see European mannequins.
Right.
You know, you're taught by, you're taught by, you know, European teachers. So, you know, 9 times out of 10, what's that's going to make you think is that Europeans, they have a upper hand, okay, and they have a better lifestyle. And quite frankly, you know, if you're not taught better, okay, if you're not taught better about our history, you would really think that they're more superior than us. The way they look, the hair, you know, the way that they're portrayed in society. You know, certain white women and white men are put on a pedestal of beauty, you know, as far as like, you know, what a role model is and what a model is supposed to look like. But on the contrary, Brother Dwayne, I mean, you know, I'm not here to insult anyone's intelligence or yours. You know good and well, you know, who be on the beaches trying to get a tan and trying to get like us and, you know, trying to get that nice body like the black women. And, you know, if it was so bad, you know, the things that they say are bad for us, Brother Dwayne, they try to do themselves and make us, and that breeds self-hate within ourselves. Exactly. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Exactly,
so
exactly.
If you have self-hate within yourselves, you'll never think to look, okay, as your forefathers for history. Let me give you something else, okay? Well, who thought, listen, Brother Dwayne, here's a guy by the name of John Burr, okay? John Burr invented the lawnmower. Black man invented the lawnmower. Okay, the Briggs and Bratton lawnmower that you see today, it was invented by a black man named John Burr.
I didn't know that.
I got something else for you, okay? Now, these are some of the things that they don't teach you in school. John Lee Love, okay, another black man, he invented the pencil sharpener, okay?
Wow.
These are things that they don't teach you in school, okay, and don't want to teach you. Here's another man, William Richardson, okay, that invented the baby stroller. How many people knew that?
Are you serious?
Look it up. He invented the baby stroller, okay? And see, you would think that the baby strollers was invented by Caprica and, you know, things like that. Joseph N. Jackson, he invented the television remote, okay? Another black man, okay, invented the television remote. That same remote that you sit down on your TV, okay, you sit and you watch TV, a black man invented that.
And the one that you can't find, sometimes you have to look under the couch, and when you're looking for it, you can't find it. That same remote, huh?
Absolutely, brother.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
This book is very pro-black.
Yes.
That does not help people understand. That does not necessarily mean it's anti-anybody. It's just pro us. I don't have to be anti you to be pro me.
Right, I understand. Right, I understand.
So that's pretty much what your book is pro-black, but not necessarily anti-anybody.
Right. It shows our people. Right, brother Dwayne. It shows our people that, you know, basically, you know, this information has been hidden, you know, from us. You know, not only has it been hidden from us, but there's reasons. You know, that's another day for another topic. but it's reasons behind that. It's reasons behind that.
Definitely.
Right. It's reasons behind that. Like I said, it's different. Different time for a different show. But this book actually, like I said, is actually to uplift, us and just show, black kids that may want to look at this show like we weren't just those people that were brought off of the slave ships, and we were just, those humble people, and we didn't know nothing, and
Right.
we were scared, and this. No, but the people that they actually brought off of the slave ships was actually mathematicians, they were electricians, they was engineers, goldsmiths. Okay, because you're not going to go and you're not going to get a people to build up your, you're not gonna look. Let me say this: you're not going to go, okay, to if you want to build a house, you're not going to go someplace and you're not going to hire someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
So when we were captured out of Africa, we were hand selected. There's doctors, there's engineers, there's 100 farmers over there. You got a couple astronomers, you got some mathematicians over there.
Wow.
That's what they were bringing over here. That's exactly what they're bringing. Listen, don't buy into that, brother Dwayne, when they say
Right.
we came over to America, the Europeans, they sat us down and taught us everything. If that's the case, then they could have did their own damn farming. They could have farmed their own land instead of teaching us. That just doesn't make any sense. You're doing double the work. I don't understand that.
Exactly.
So, the people that they brought over here, okay, hey, listen, excuse me, brother Dwayne, but when Columbus came over here, wasn't it the Indians that showed him how to farm?
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
So,
Right.
we was the ones who taught them, and that's another form of white supremacy as well, too. Oh, they taught us how to read and how to write. Well, how the hell did the slaves come over here and they farm, and how the hell did they build? I don't understand that. There's no, brother Dwayne, let me tell you something. I know.
But some of the stuff that makes, some of the things that they want us to believe, when you take time to think about it, really, 2 and 2 is not 5.
Absolutely.
It doesn't add up. Let me ask you a question. A double question. One, who is this book for? And when those people read it, what do they come away with? Do they come away with answers or anger, or what do they come away with? And who is it for?
Well, you want to know, son? I mean, when you find out things, brother Dwayne, about things that you were lied about and things that you were taught that weren't true, there is a sense of anger that may pursue and may be in you, because you've been lied to. You're like, wow, like this guy right here, John Standard. Okay, he was the first guy to invent the refrigerator. Black man named John Standard. He built the refrigerator. Okay, now contrary to belief, you would think, you see that look on your face right now, brother Dwayne?
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, when you find out things, that weren't true, it's going to anger you a little bit. Me, I know it angered me a lot. But now, it's you're beginning to find out, like, wow, and it's to inspire Blacks, okay, and to educate them and let them know, okay, that we're better than society portrays us. We're just not the regular Black young men, okay, that lives in low income houses with our pants off our behind and this, that. These are our forefathers. Robert Fleming, he's the one who invented the guitar. Black man, okay, invented the guitar.
It wasn't Fender?
Yes, it wasn't Les Paul. Right, it wasn't Les Paul, okay, it wasn't Elvis Presley.
Right.
Okay, a black man, okay, invented the guitar. This is something that they're not going to tell you, brother Dwayne. So when kids see stuff like this, they're like, wow, okay, if my foreparents, if those genius genes was in my foreparents, I know those genes are still in me.
So the demographic or the audience, the person that this is for our kids, for Blacks, for no particular age. No, kids, adults, and
no, sir.
A little bit of everybody.
No, sir.
And so when we read it, we're going to leave with maybe some anger, but more inspiration.
There you go, brother.
I like that.
There you go, brother. George C. Sampson invented the washing machine. Another black man.
I've heard that. I've seen him before. Yeah.
There you go. It wasn't GE or it wasn't Whirlpool. And look, let me hit you with this too, brother. Anytime a black inventor invented something in the past, the patent always said, okay, George C. Sampson made improvements too. They never gave us any credit, right? They never gave us full credit for it.
Right.
So my question is, brother Dwayne, how can you make improvements to something that never existed?
I love that. Yes. Now that's good. If it didn't exist, how can I improve it? If it
How
didn't
can you
exist.
improve it? But you notice that on a lot of inventions, okay, that a lot of other Europeans made, they just flat out, just like Thomas Edison with the light bulb, and we all know Louis Latimer, invented the filament. Brother
Right.
Louis Latimer invented the filament, okay, to help out Thomas Edison with the bulb. Everybody knows
Right.
that the light bulb was invented, okay, by Louis Latimer, a black man. We sitting in light right now because of a black man named Louis Latimer.
Oh wow, that is incredible. So this book helps us with self-esteem. It helps us with our, I would say it helps us with our creativity, because
Yes,
we may have something we want to do and we think, well, we can't do that. But when we look at the people that you're talking about, they did that. So there's a saying that I have in some of my books. It says, if it has been done, that means it can be done.
That's right.
So we
That's
can.
right.
So tell the people, how do we get a copy of your book? How do people get your book?
You can go on Amazon, and you can type my name in, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Zaaquan, Z-A-A-Q-A-N, Jordan. And I've written actually 7 Black history books. Each one is more astounding than the next. When you read one, you're going to want to read another one, because I put different information in each of them. That's just astounding. Okay. And, things that you're not going to learn in school and things they don't want you to know.
Right.
One more. Brother
so,
Socrates, look, one more, 2 more. Brother Socrates, greatest philosopher and mathematician. He was a black man living in Greece, okay, Athens, Greece. They'll never tell you this in school. Socrates was, okay, a so-called black man, okay, and this man
Socrates,
right here,
the
Aristotle,
philosopher that we learned about in college, that's
yes,
Socrates?
sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. He was a black man living in Athens, Greece. Okay. The nickname that they had for him, they used to call him a black genius. Another man right here, Aristotle, okay, which actually was a student, okay, which was student under, okay, Socrates. He learned under Socrates. Another one, one of the greatest mathematicians and philosophers on this planet. You can go to the cathedral in Notre Dame, okay, over there in Paris and all this, and this still stands on the cathedral in Notre Dame. He was a black man, okay?
Wow.
Aristotle was a black man, and this is on the cathedral still to today.
Really?
Yeah.
So how can...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
People want to get in touch with you. How can people get in touch with you if they want you to come lecture or they just want to reach you? How can they contact you?
They can email me at all lower caps ZAAQAN 1212 at yahoo.com. And I'm not one of those kind of people that won't respond to your email. I'll respond to it as soon as possible.
Okay. Give it to us one more time, because it kind of broke up when you gave it the first time. Give it to us one more time.
All lowercase Z as in zebra, AAQAN 1212 at yahoo.com.
My goodness. We have had a history lesson. We have had an outstanding history lesson, and that's just with the few things that Brother Frank has told us. But you need to get this book. Can you hold it up again?
Thank you so much, Brother Dwayne.
We once were a family. Powerful information, and just the information that he's told us tonight. And so that and some of his other books, we can be truly encouraged, inspired through all of that. So you need to get his information. If you're a teacher, if you're a history buff, you need to get his information so that you can get a copy of those books. And so I want to thank you, Brother Frank, for being with us. Any closing words before we go?
No, Brother Dwayne. I mean, my thing is this, is that, like the old saying goes, if you want to hide something from a Negro, you put it in a book. That saying is very true. That saying is very true. Our people have lost the appetite, and they have lost the will to read. Everything is just so instant now on web and, on the internet. It has literally made our people lazy, and it has literally made them not want to study and not want to pick up a physical book and read anymore. Don't let that stereotype be true. If you want to hide anything, put it, let's reverse that. Okay.
Well, with books like yours, we're going to do our best to change that. We're going to do our best to change
That's right. That's
and
right.
We want to thank Brother Frank Zaaquan Jordan for being with us on Talking Books. And we want to encourage you, go out, get his books. And if you want to follow me with some of my other things, you can follow me on Instagram at Encourage Man, the letter N, Courage Man. Also on YouTube, Dwayne Shigg on YouTube, and my Facebook page, Your Encouragement, MINT. If you're an author and you want to talk about your book on Talking Books, contact us at drshigg@gmail.com, drshigg@gmail.com. Brother Frank Jordan, author extraordinaire. See some of his other books. You can get some of those also. And so we just thank you for being with us. Continue to be encouraged. Continue to be inspired. And as always, want to leave you with this. The dream is doable. So go get it. Stay encouraged. Be blessed.
Hey, thank you, Brother Dwayne. Thank you.
Not a problem. Hold on.